Hey y'all, welcome to Kyria Review. I am Kyria and we are back for another episode of Love After Lockup. Not much happened in this episode. We did not get Deontay and Nicole in this episode, which is so disappointing because I feel like they know we want to see what's going on with their storyline and they are just not giving it to us for some reason. Brittany and Ray, like, okay, I can go an episode or two without their storyline because it seemed like it's moving along kind of slow. But to me, my favorite couple and storyline this season is Deontay and Nicole. And I want to see more of them and see what's going on with them and like what's going to come out of this meetup between him and Nicole. Like, is he going to fall for it again or whatever? But we did not get them this episode. So, you know, I was kind of like checking in and checking out. But I really didn't care for this episode too much because not much happened. So the first couple I'm going to start off with is Sean and Sarah. We know that Sean relocated to Ohio to be with Sarah, and after whoever picked her up from the parking lot took her to her mom's house, she's just pretty much been bonding with her daughter. She was out of her life for the first 6 years of her life, and as far as we know, she just wants to continue to be there for the rest of her life without any more interruptions, without having to watch her grow up through pictures. Because I'm assuming that she didn't want her mom to bring her for like visitation and stuff like that. So she just wants to be a part of her daughter's life. Let me flip my hair this way because this little side over here always looks kind of crazy. My hair used to be so thick, y'all, and now it seems like the older I get, it's just getting like thinner and thinner. So Sean calls his kid's mom and he's just letting her know, like, look, I feel like I'm about to be in the same position that I was in before with Destiny. I feel like I'm getting played a little bit. I'm trying to set up dates with this girl. Things keep coming up. She's not meeting up with me. But she's calling, we're texting, you know, FaceTime, and she's asking for money, but nothing's coming of it because it's just not moving along the way that I anticipated. So he's disappointed with how things are going with Sarah for right now. And I think Sarah feels like Sean is trying to rush things a little bit because she needs time to readjust to being in the real world again, being around her daughter, and really working on that relationship since she is one of the few people that kind of are able to get out and be right there with their child because the child was with her mother. So, you know, she's trying to bond with her daughter, and she's trying to just build that relationship with her that she wasn't able to for the first couple years of her life since she's missed out on so much as far as, you know, her walking, first to going to kindergarten, you know, starting school and just all kind of stuff. So Sarah's focused on that and Sean is focused on being in a relationship with Sarah. So I do not know how that's going to go. And I think since he's had all this time just out in the real world, he doesn't have anything to adjust to other than not being around his 6 kids that he has on his own. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why he feels like, why are you so pressed about it? Because it's so easy for him to just pick up and move from his kids. So maybe he don't understand why she wants to be with her child so badly, but she does. And I don't blame her. She wants a relationship with her daughter. That's her only daughter as far as we know. So he's going to have to be understanding and just slow down. The next couple that we have in this episode is Amber and Puppy. They meet for lunch and they basically you know, Amber basically lets Puppy know that she misses her and she cares about her. She's worried about her mom's worried about her, and Puppy's like, why would my mom be worried about you? But it's like, girl, your mom's health is not good. You're not living there, so that's already a violation of your parole. She doesn't know if you're getting back on the same path that you were on before that led you to jail. So of course your mom is worried, especially if Puppy is an only child. You know, they haven't really said anything about her having any siblings or anything. And we did not get Queenie in this episode, which I was kind of disappointed because I do like their friend Queenie, or Amber's friend Queenie, because it seems like her and Puppy kind of bumped heads when she allowed Puppy to come work for her company and Puppy started messing up. So Amber suggests that Sammy and Amber and Puppy's boyfriend Eric, which is the guy that answered the door on the last episode, she suggested they go out on a double date. And Puppy takes that information back to Eric. So when Puppy gets home, she's telling Eric she went and met up with Amber. She misses her. And he's like, missed her how? Like, what? Like, that's your ex. Why are you trying to deal with her? And Puppy was like, even though she's my ex, like, we're still friends and we care about each other. And, she just likes to make sure I'm doing okay and vice versa. And she wants to go out on a double date. And I believe Eric agreed, but I think he still has some reservations and questions about Amber and Puppy's relationship, because like she said, he seems to be, from what Puppy describes, a jealous type, tries to keep her on a short leash, has a short temper. He's like aggressively angry. Those are the words that Puppy used. So it's like, is this guy abusive or is he just controlling? Like, what is it? Like, she's kind of sprinkling these aggressive words all around, but she seems like she's not just getting to the point. Like, girl, what's going on? Nothing much happened in their little segment either. But that was pretty much it. The other couple we're going to get to is Brittany and Marcelino. Now, Marcelino finally comes home after driving around for hours, and him and Brittany talk about the missing money. And Brittany is just telling him, she's still apologizing, like, look, I'm sorry. I feel like I let our family down, and I feel like I let you down. And I think the best thing to do is to just go over to Robert's house with my friend Kanan, because I'm assuming wherever they live, Kanan's name is on the lease. So she legally has a right to be there. And if she's there, they can't kick Brittany and Marcelino and Kanan off of the property, since Kanan must be a legal resident of that household, but maybe it's just not living there. I'm not sure what's going on with the living situation for Robert. So they sit on the bed, they talk about it, they kind of discuss some options that they have as far as confronting him and stuff like that, and why the other people didn't confront him or try to go over there and see what happened. Because in Brittany's words, her friends did not think it was a good idea to go over there, because according to Brittany, she's only seen this guy while he's sober, and she has not seen him as he's under the influence of anything, so she don't know what she's walking into. So her and Marcelino do agree to go over there. He agrees to take Brittany over there, and all the while Marcelino's like, I have to make sure I keep control over this situation. But how will he be able to keep control over the situation if it's such an unpredictable situation, and it's involving a large sum of money? So stuff like that can easily get out of control. So maybe it was a good idea that they not go over there, or they let someone else go over there, like a third party that is not dealing with the money, like have the police do like a wellness check or something like that, like just to make sure, like, okay, this fool is still over there, he's alive, he's answering the door, he's just not answering our calls when it comes to figuring out what's going on with this money. And maybe, there are legal steps that they can take if they did everything right, even though we know they didn't because they don't have a contract. So, I feel like maybe they do have other options, but they're just not trying to utilize certain options, because since Brittany does not trust the police. But I mean, she gonna have to get over that. Like, you're trying to do a business venture with somebody, and you may have to have some sort of legal situation be involved within this situation if you're talking about recovering that amount of money. I mean, they're talking about $80,000, and $8,000 of her money is involved in that, which is 10% of that money. So that's pretty much all that happened with Brittany and Marcelino. We have not gotten closer to a resolution on that, besides her going over to his house and banging on the door. So the last couple that was on this episode, which they kept going back to, and I was like, why do they keep going back to John and Christiana? They're not doing anything. They are looking at wedding venues, they're looking at wedding venues to where they can have their reception, the ceremony, and things like that. And she just lets John know, like, look, I want my sister Tara to be here. And John doesn't think it's a good idea, but Christiana does. Christiana, I can't remember how she says it. Christiana. I'm just going to say Christiana. So she wants her sister to be there, and she invites her to the wedding. And the day of, or maybe, no, she goes and tries on wedding dresses. I do remember that part. And her sister was supposed to join them at the bridal place. That's where Christiana was trying on her wedding dress. And it looked really good on her. Like, the wedding dress was really pretty, the one that she picked out. And her mom showed up to watch her try on wedding dresses, and her sister Tara was supposed to be there, but Tara ended up not showing up. And they had been calling her, and she was just not answering. So their mom ends up calling Tara, and she's like, where you at? I'm going to send somebody to your door, and I'm going to have them up there. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm just sitting up there like, what? I don't know. I just think it was funny how her mom was just leaving. She was leaving a voicemail on her aunt's machine as though it was the 90s again. And the voicemail that was like in the house comes up, and you can hear the person talking as they left the voicemail. Like, that's how her mom was talking to the voicemail. And I'm thinking, like, I don't think Tara is going to hear that voicemail until she checks her voicemail. And if she's already ignoring y'all calls, you know, she knows why you're calling, because you're trying to get her somewhere that she said she would be, but she's not there. So that was basically it. Like, nothing else happened this episode. Oh, I said we didn't get Deontay and Nicole. We didn't get Brittany and Ray. And we also did not get any of Shane and Lacey's storyline as well. And I'm actually more into Shane and Lacey's storyline, probably more so than I am with Brittany and Ray, because I don't know, maybe their storyline just seems a little bit more interesting this season. I do not know. But I do know that once I realized that Deontay and Nicole was not going to be in this episode, I was like, come on, man. Like, they know, like, that is the reason why Deontay and Nicole are my favorite couple storyline on this season. And then I think Shane and Lacey is second. Brittany and Ray is third. And then it's just everybody else. So I was looking forward to those storylines. But when I did not see Virginia Beach, Virginia, every time, oh, I forgot about Stan and Lisa. Oh my gosh. So Stan and Lisa. Lisa shows up at Stan's house. She's dressed pretty casual, and she asked Stan to come down to the church with her because she wants to speak to a pastor about their situation. Now, if this conversation with this pastor won't the most cringe conversation that I think they could have went in there, and that man probably is like, you know what, I have heard it all, and these people think I can save and just figure out any relationship issue. Because I mean, she talks to Stan, and Stan was like, I don't even know what I did. Like, you know, yeah, I have my ex's pictures on the fireplace, which I feel like I don't know about that. I'm not gonna comment on that, because Stan and Lisa, Stan is older. I'm sure he still has his wife's picture, her pictures around the house, and they were married for 30 years. So I'm like, if you've been married, because I'm not at that point in my life. So I feel like if you've been married to somebody for 30 years and y'all don't get a divorce because it was cheating, financial, or nothing, like, y'all are literally no longer together because you're a widow and your partner died, is it wrong for someone to expect you to remove their pictures? Or is it or would they be like, is it even their place to ask you to remove your late husband or wife's pictures out of the house when your kids still come to visit, and that was their mom for 30, you know, I ain't gonna say for 30 years, but that was their mother, and y'all were married for so long, like a long time. I think Stan said 30 years. And then he has pictures of other women up above the fireplace, and he tells Lisa, like, okay, I didn't know that bothered you, so I'll take those down. But I'm wondering, is it okay for Lisa to expect him to remove his wife's pictures as well, or just his ex's pictures, because that's a whole nother, situation in life that I've never had to deal with. So I don't really know how I would feel about that, or how I would feel about somebody asking me, like, if I was married to somebody for 40 or 50 years and then they ended up passing away, and then years go by and then I meet someone else, like, is it okay for that person to expect me to take down my late husband's pictures or whatever? Because that's what I want my children to see when they come to the house, especially if me and their other parent had been together for so long. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Like, the pictures thing is kind of weird for me because Stan and Lisa, I don't even think they've been together for a whole year. So I don't know what's appropriate and inappropriate in that aspect, since she's coming to live in his home, and she's also giving him reason to believe that she's only using him for his money, and that she does not want anything long term until she realized that, he had other options. So besides that, they go down to the church and they talked to this pastor, and Lisa was like, I feel like the way that we met and the way that things are going, like, I think that has a lot to do with him not wanting to be serious with me. And she was just letting out all this stuff to this pastor, and she told the pastor, like, yeah, we met up on a website that is specifically for people that want to meet up and, in Stan's words, be passionate with each other. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So Stan was like, no, like, I love her. I want to be with her. I love her living with me. Like, there's things we need to work on, but I want her to be there. Like, I enjoy her being there with me. And Lisa was like, yeah, but you treated me so bad, and just the way you are, like, she was like kind of breaking down and was like, I just wish I was like in jail again. Like, I just kind of sometimes wish I was just back in my prison cell, because maybe for her, she felt like that was easier dealing with that life than actually having to deal with real life. So I don't think anything was resolved when they went to the meeting with the pastor. The pastor was like, look, y'all don't have a solid foundation. Y'all didn't meet each other the way that, to him, normal people meet. And also, he said, he's like, if you don't have a good foundation, then you're not going to have anything to build on. You're trying to build on top of a relationship that was established between y'all just being intimate with each other. And that it takes more than that. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like, you guys need to be able to get along. You need to be able to live together. Your values and your characters need to at least match up. They don't have to be the same, but they need to be similar enough, or not so extremely opposite, that you guys can still coexist. And it just don't seem like they able to do that. So, again, not much happened with Stan and Lisa either this episode, because Stan is one of my favorite characters on the show, because to me, he's more realistic, because he's like, he gets upset, says something that he is feeling in the moment, but then he goes back and thinks about it, and he's like, ugh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like, his reactions are realistic to me. And people are like, oh, well, he's wrong, and he treats her bad and this and that. But they treat each other bad, to be honest with you, because Lisa's only doing all this because she saw he was texting that lady. But the episode before that, she was on the phone with somebody else, and then when she went shopping with his credit card, she was on the phone with somebody else then. But now that the shoe was on the other foot, now she got an issue. So, that was pretty much it for this episode. Not much happened. Next episode, I know they better have Deontay and Nicole up there, because I want to see what is going to happen with this meetup. I know this is the season where Deontay is going to have on that little burgundy velvet suit with the black bow tie, and he dressed to the nines, in his head. It's not a bad look. Everybody got their own little style. It did not look bad, but I want to see what's going on with Deontay and Nicole, because so far they are my favorite couple in this season of Love After Lockup. And honestly, Christiana and John and what's Amber and Puppy and Sean and Sarah are literally my 3 bottom couples in this season. Like, their storyline is just not doing anything for me. I just don't understand. Like, I'm just not into it at all, but I just watch it for the sake of, like, okay, this is my show. I like this show. I want to see if they're going to have one of my other couples come on that I like. But why can't they have a whole episode revolved around Deontay and Nicole, and Shane and Lacey and Brittany and Ray? Maybe they have already, and I just haven't been ain't paid attention that deep. But the other couples I could do without. But I mean, then again, that's my preference. I know somebody out there is waiting on this Shane and Sarah storyline, and I mean, not Shane, Sean and Sarah storyline, or somebody out there really loves the Christiana and John storyline because it relates to them. So I'm just saying, in my opinion, y'all let me know in the comments, what couples do you like? What couples do you not like? What couples can you see go? What couple do you think that you can just watch a full episode on just to, move their storyline along? Which I know that they're not ever going to do just one couple, but I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just certain storylines I just don't care about. So again, like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this video with someone, turn on your notifications so that when I do make a video, you guys will be able to just jump right on it and just watch my video, because that's what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing it for me too, though. I like reviews. So y'all, thank y'all so much for watching another review on Curia Review. And I hope to see you guys next week. Now, just a sidebar. I know I did my little story time video, and I plan on doing another story time video when I get to my next goal of 50 subscribers. 50 or 50. I don't know how it's going to come up on the camera. So yes, y'all continue to subscribe. Like, all the new people, welcome. And to everybody who has subscribed already, thank y'all for watching another one of my reviews. And I will see you next week on another review on Curia Review. Don't judge me. I'm working on my outro. All right. Bye.